Now, it says here he's rumored.
Oh, he's not confirmed?
That's...
Oh, that he's rumored to be the director?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, I guess he wrote it, right? And so maybe they're starting to confirm who's going to direct. I do remember him being attached only because he got upset when the Black Widow trailer came out. I was like, all right, we're live.
Paul Thomas Anderson. Why does that name sound familiar?
Isn't that your boy that P.T. Anderson is in any Mortal Kombat and all that stuff?
No, that's Paul Thomas.
Welcome to Press Play, y'all. As you catch us in media res here as Leroy works on his stuff. I'm Michael.
Hey.
That's Leroy. We're the News 19 nerds. Leroy is trying to work out who people are.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, that's that one.
Yeah, I was like,
okay.
No, I was like.
So what's the other one?
Paul W. Anderson. Paul W.S. Anderson is.
Y'all in the chat, let us know who directed the Mortal Kombat movie.
That's Paul W.S. Anderson. He goes by two different names because he's the same guy who did Event Horizon.
Right.
Yeah,
we talked about that last week. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's what I was
and
like.
And the upcoming classic Monster Hunter.
Anyway.
And the Resident Evil movies.
Anyway.
Fair enough.
Hold on, let me go hit this button so I can see who's in the chat.
We are back again for another edition here.
Back again.
In these holiday episodes. We're calling these the holiday classics as we get closer to Christmas. What day is Christmas on this year?
I think a Friday.
You working?
No, we're all off on Thanksgiving.
That's right. They're changing no shows, so we probably won't have a show. Maybe we'll do one Thursday.
Yeah, but if there is breaking news, I do have to come in.
Yeah, me too.
They told me that.
I'm disgusted.
Yeah. Vanessa, friend of the show, was like, so I can't give you all your days off.
But you can kind of have this day off.
Yeah.
Unless something pops off.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that is what it is. What are we talking about today? Tonight?
Nothing, because the internet just went out. So I don't even know if we're still on.
We're on over here.
Oh, we are? Okay.
Yeah. That's just this.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. We're talking about...
The biggest news of the day!
Oh, you talking about Metal Gear?
No. HBO Max, son.
That was like 2 days ago.
That's still... There is no news.
Oh, that's just forever?
I'm going to tell you right now.
That's still 2021?
That's the biggest news until maybe the Video Game Awards.
Maybe.
And maybe even still bigger then.
Yeah, depending on what kind of announcements come out on the 10th. Yeah, for sure.
There's nothing bigger than this.
Because it's having an effect everywhere, right? Not even just in the nerd world, but in like stock markets. Like AMC stock plummeted. Cinemark stock has gone down too. Not as much as AMC. But AMC was in maybe like $10, $15. Now it's down to $4 or whatever.
I'm going to buy it now.
I'm thinking about buying it too, for sure. The CEO railed against HBO Max. Which I understand.
We'll get into that in a second.
In a classier
nah,
way.
man. He said that like it was Death Row Records.
Yeah, that was Suge Knight type stuff.
I put that on our Facebook page. I was like, you tired of these dudes dancing in your videos? Come to Death Row Records.
Yeah.
I was like, yo.
Yeah, he laid out the gauntlet for sure. So where you want to start?
The biggest news, man.
Oh, HBO Max. Yes.
I can't get this to work, so I'm gonna try to get to y'all's chat comments on my phone because the internet sucks.
Right now, from this thing I can see, we got Brian Gamer in there, Edward Sanchez Productions, Ty Williams, IMAX, Ryan Porter, Boundless Book Owl, Brock Warren, Joe Ellis, Rayshawn K. Yeah, that's all the usual so far.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, start us off with this HBO Max.
What you want to know?
Tell me the story.
Oh, HBO Max said Disney, Netflix, not only am I coming for you, I'm coming for your kids, your grandparents, your aunts, uncles, pets, front yard, backyard.
Yeah, it's wild, right? So the original news was HBO Max announced that Wonder Woman 84 was going to come day and date to their streaming service as well as theaters on Christmas Day. Mm-hmm. And everybody's like, oh, this is cool, because for a while, I know you and I talked about it, we were like, Wonder Woman's not coming to theaters. There's no way. They said not only will it come to theaters, it'll come to streaming same day. And that's for a month, I think, right?
For no extra charge.
Right, yeah. No Mulan crap here. It's you get it as long as you're paying the HBO streaming Max service, whatever. I think it's a month, and then it goes back to
31 days.
Yeah. And I guess HBO Max, the people said this is a good idea, and let's do it for the whole 2021 season.
So
Movie season? I don't know.
that was the beginning. That was part of the beginning, but honestly, it really wasn't the total beginning because remember, the last movie we saw in movie theaters was Tenet. And that was a Warner Brothers movie, and that was the movie that they pushed theaters to open up.
They were like, this is going to bring people back.
Yep.
It did not.
Well, we
not.
don't know.
Yeah, we do.
We don't know why they pivoted now. I guess what I'm sorry. We know that Tenet was the movie that they were like, hey, we're going to try this. This is going to bring people back. The numbers are going down. The summer, and they thought that this would work. And then they made this deal with theaters and said, hey, we're going to do day and date release. It's for one movie only. And we're going to do Wonder Woman 1984. We're going to put it on HBO Max, but it'll be in movie theaters at the same time if you want to go. And you had talked about you were going to go see it in the movie theaters. I was one of those people who's like, I want to see it on the big screen. But as numbers go up, and as social distancing, social people not taking social distancing seriously, and we've seen this. Just for us, the positive rate is in the 20s in South Carolina.
Positive rate.
The percent positive rate. We've had the most amount of cases in one day all year today. So I have backed off of like, I don't even know if I want to, like, I go to...
Yeah, I don't know that I want to see Wonder Woman in theaters anymore.
And even though I saw Tenet by myself, I love that, but I get it. But I would like to know on their balance sheet, like when they sat down and talked, after they made this decision, because remember when we saw the news, Wonder Woman 1984, it wasn't like a haphazard, like it was blitz. Like I got updates from HBO Max, I got emails that like it went out, like they made the decision and they were like, yo, this is what's going to happen. There were commercials only on, they said, come into HBO Max. It's going to be the first movie streamed in 4K.
Yeah.
I would like to know what made them pivot to say, F 2021, we're going.
Your boy Ryan Porter says, Leroy, we getting Dune at the crib.
Yep.
There you go. Case closed. That's all you need.
I mean, honest, and this is sad, and the sad part is, I'm so happy for that, but I'm also sad because I wanted to see that in a movie theater. I wanted the surround sound. I wanted the swooshes and everything. I wanted to see a sandworm on a giant screen.
There is something to seeing something in the theater for sure,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's an incredible experience. You got your Dolby, your Atmos, all that stuff.
Oh,
Possibly shot in IMAX.
Ray Sean K says my wife and brother got COVID. Sorry to hear that, man. I hope
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah, I hope you and your family will be okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you're talking about 30% positivity rate in Wisconsin.
Wow.
Yeah, that's wild.
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's something to seeing a movie in a theater.
Yeah.
That experience with the popcorn and the drink and all that stuff. And there was even something to seeing a movie under a pandemic in a theater, because it's almost it is kind of a more personal experience because there's so few people in there.
Yeah.
You really do have that theater to yourself. That's how it felt for me with Tenet.
I literally had the theater to myself.
Yeah, so I mean, it's going to be different, but with these numbers going up, and I don't have as the chat knows, I don't have a 4K TV yet. Probably won't get one until next year at this point.
Might as well.
Yeah, that's wait to get these models for next year's prices or whatever. I can wait. I don't have to see it in the theater. I can see it at my house. I can watch it as many times as I want. I can pause and get up and do whatever. There's something nice about that.
But I guess the problem with that is, and it goes back to what you say, that takes away from the movie theater experience. That being immersed in the moment where nothing else matters. Like I lose myself in a movie theater. Like I'm captured by what's on screen. I remember when we saw Infinity War, where it was me, you,
Chuck and Joe?
Joe. Did Lauren go with us? I can't remember.
See, because I remember, was it Infinity War or was it Endgame?
Endgame, I know for a fact. So it might have just been.
It was a group of us.
Yeah.
One of the last two movies.
But
whatever it was.
I was aware of you people around me.
Yeah.
But I was in my own little world
Sure.
and just immersed. And you don't have that when you're at home a lot of times because you can get up, you can pause it, you can pause and go get, refill, whatever. There is something lost at watching something at home.
Ray Sean K says, I miss laughing with the crowd.
Yeah.
For sure. Mm-hmm. There's something, too, about especially seeing a bad movie that can make it better if you're seeing it with the budget.
If you see,
bad.
Like,
that
I'm going to be honest
makes
with
it
you,
enjoyable.
one of the funniest things for us, so, like, my dad watches anything. Like, he doesn't, like, know. So one day we were it was all of us, and this is like, like on a weekend, so we were all over there, and a Steven Seagal movie came on. And I'm not talking like like when he was good. I'm not talking like Under Siege, Hard to Kill. I'm talking.
Are you talking about like Reserve Deputy Steven Seagal now?
I'm talking after that. I'm talking Russian agent, Fat Steven Seagal.
Okay.
And my dad was like, well, we watching it now, and my sister and them were going back and forth. And all of us were just ripping the movie. Mm-hmm. And it was so funny because we were like, that's not even the same dude. Like, so he was like, they did the taking cuts.
Yes.
And I was like, come on, man. And then they had the girl who was like, because like I forget which one it was, but it was like Steven Seagal, supposedly a disavowed agent, but he's really double disavowed. He's really working for us and all this other stuff. And like they had this one black guy that like I've seen in other stuff. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, I remember him. He was the black guy who was this first officer, I believe, in DSV 9.
Okay.
And I was just, and they killed him. But I was just like, man, we just ragged that movie. And it was fun.
Yeah.
And you miss that when you're in a movie theater, like watching The Meg. Mm-hmm. Like you know what you're getting into.
Yeah. And it's one thing that I find interesting, which, I mean, it's kind of just a coincidence, but shameless plug for a video that we did, I guess at the beginning of this year. Mm-hmm. We talked about our top 5 movies and our top 5 games. That's on our YouTube channel. If you haven't seen it, you can see it now. Many of those movies that we talked about were being released by Warner Brothers.
Yep.
So, In the Heights, I can finally see now because it'll be in theater.
My wife wants to see that?
Yeah, it'll come to TV. Dune was on there for you.
Her boss soul.
So, I mean, yeah, a lot of stuff.
But
it's coming. Matrix 4.
Yep. So there's 17 movies. I had them listed here.
Yeah.
But I can't pull them up. But we know Dune, Suicide Squad, Matrix 4, In the Heights. Stuff that's like on the tip of my tongue. But like Godzilla versus Kong. Thank you.
Mortal Kombat. That's what I'm excited about. Mortal Kombat.
Who just hit me with who reminded me?
Jared Barkley?
Yeah. Thank you, Jared.
And Jared says, I want to see Godzilla vs. Kong and Mortal Kombat in the theaters.
I do too. This is another thing so we're going to get into the nitty gritty as we talk about this. Legendary didn't even know this was happening.
Interesting.
This is the thing. So this is why I was bringing up the timeline. Mm-hmm. So AMC made a deal with Warner Media about Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. So movie theaters kind of had the deal that they made when Warner Brothers made this decision. No one knew. They found out about it like we found out about it.
when it got announced. Yeah.
And so I posted on our Facebook page, I said, what is going on? Mm-hmm. Because when I heard it, I was like, you hear something and being in the news.
You don't really.
And I was like, the whole slate of 2021 movies is going to HBO Max. And I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
What the? And it just it hit me. And then I was reading up and they were like, Legendary didn't even know their movie, which is being distributed by Warner Media, is going to HBO Max.
Yeah.
And it's like...
I wonder what those back-end deals in terms of the other studios that, for all the movies that aren't solely done by Warner Brothers, what kind of money they have to pay the other studios to make this happen.
Well, some of the reporting was that because Warner Brothers and certain divisions within AT&T under this company, because I don't know if you've been paying attention, they sell each other their stuff.
Yeah.
And so basically they made their money back from selling the movie that they made with Legendary to themselves, basically. Right.
It's... Yeah, AT&T in major debt. Yeah, they're still dealing stuff.
And
Landline phones have not been great for them now as
Nope.
they were back in the 90s.
And remember, Verizon and T-Mobile are eating into. So it's basically you basically as telecom. Verizon's on one hand, AT&T. Then you have your T-Mobile. You have your Boost. You have your what's the one with the little yellow and green things that it's like a
Cricket?
yeah, Cricket Wireless. You have.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, this
Space
is
Jam will be there.
yep.
And somebody said in-game wouldn't have been the same at home. I agree with that.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Ryan Porter's right. They say Amazon's going hard on that new. So this is the thing that I think, which is very interesting. The reason why I said, and we've talked about the streaming because I called it the Cold War.
Is it finally heating up now for you?
Son, this is
it?
this is the real streaming war.
Okay.
So before we were talking about the Cold War, they were making moves, they were positioning themselves, kind of like they were fighting through proxies. Oh no, this is war.
Okay.
And
Everybody's trying to buy up something.
And this is honestly Universal and Disney's fault because Disney moved up Hamilton. Disney dropped a couple of movies and put them on Artemis Fowl.
Movies that nobody was going to watch.
True, but Universal did this with Trolls. And that kind of sped everything up. And then Disney also has a hand in this too because Disney, along with Netflix, had marquee shows and movies that they were able to point to and say, look what we have. HBO Max does not have a Mandalorian.
Right.
HBO Max does not have any Marvel shows. They don't have any DC shows.
Yeah.
They don't even have any DC movies.
And it's weird, not to cut you off, but it's when you talk about that, because there is good content on HBO Max. We reviewed a lot of it.
Yeah.
As crazy as Raised by Wolves is, it's different.
Oh yeah, they swung for the fences on that.
Watchmen, great. Outsider, great.
Yep.
So I mean, they have good stuff.
Lovecraft Country.
Yeah.
The Obsession.
They have good stuff. It's
No,
just-
is it The Obsession?
Maybe it's not marketed to the masses as much.
The Undoing. Well, this is the thing. I think they have a problem with the fact that they have not put out the difference that this is HBO but better.
Yeah.
And they haven't sold the one thing that HBO always did was HBO said that their tagline was this is television but better. Like you knew you were getting quality television
Right.
from HBO. If you saw it was on HBO, it automatically had
that home box office.
Yep, it
Yeah.
automatically had prestige attached to it.
Yeah.
Disney and Netflix already had things that people, Netflix, Stranger Things, Umbrella Academy, Lock and Key,
In the beginning, House of Cards.
House of Cards. They
Orange
already
is the New Black,
had
yeah.
they had these shows that people would binge. The haunting of Haunting House on the whatever.
Nope.
But you know what I'm talking
yeah.
So there's two of those Ozarks. So there was always Sabrina Teen Witch. There's a lot of shows. Then they had Old Guard, Extraction. They had Bird Box. They had stuff that you were like could only go to Netflix. Then they had the other licensed stuff. Disney had their stuff, and HBO Max. Yeah, they had Friends. Yeah, they had HBO stuff, but it wasn't like it was pieced together because you didn't have the entire DC Universe catalog.
And it's weird too, like talking about that piecemeal, that piece together thing. I do not like the UI for HBO Max.
I do not either.
It's hard to find what you want. Sometimes you go here, you'll find a DC movie, but it might not be in another category of DC stuff. Like their UI for HBO Max is not good, and that kind of turns me off from actually watching something. I might say, hey, I want to watch something on HBO Max. I don't want to deal with the UI. Let me just go to Disney Plus and like here's the Marvel tab,
Yep.
here's the Star Wars tab, and I can find it easy.
I say the worst one is Amazon. Amazon is trash. Their UI is hot garbage.
And that's probably on purpose, right? Because they mix in whether or not it's something that's free or something you have to pay for.
Not even that. It's just the fact of like, let's say you click on something, you're like, excuse me, guys. You click on something, you say, okay, I want to see what this is. I want more information. When you click back out, it starts at the beginning again.
Yeah.
So it doesn't keep your place. The UI is garbage. But I think the wonderful thing that HBO just did was they threw a gauntlet down that said, Netflix, Disney, everybody else are saying, hey, we have this stuff and it's good, but it's not blockbuster quality. HBO Max said, we will give you what you would see in the theater on that small screen.
Yeah.
And that is a major. That's like Bugs Bunny walks up to Elmer Fudd, puts a brick in the glove, slaps the shit out of him, and then takes the glove, shakes the pieces out.
Right.
And it's like, what you gonna do?
Ken from Chicago, we were talking about UIs. Ken from Chicago says CBS All Access UI is
You are so, yeah, I mean.
Yeah, it's not great.
And watch this. They're going to change their thing now because there's a rumor they're going to call it Paramount Plus. It's not even going to be called CBS All Access.
Okay.
Because the people who watch CBS are not the people who are getting the CBS All Access.
Right.
It's
Because
younger
CBS skews older anyway. They're
My
streaming
in-laws.
a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Is HBO smart in doing this double thing of streaming plus movie because that keeps their movies in contention for award season?
I don't know. I like that. That's why I said I don't know what the end game of this is. We know streaming is the future. Like we know that. Like you must have a streaming service.
Your wife is wild.
What?
Did you see it?
Paramount Plus sounds like a strip club.
Thank you, Katie.
Doesn't even sound like a good strip club either. She's right. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like an upscale strip club in the hood, or like you're like, yeah, man, you said our new club Paramount, and it's like in
Where is it?
Yeah, Camden.
You had to name real places, but okay.
I wanted to say West Columbia, but I want to move there, so I want to disparage the people of West Columbia. I'm about to be one of them. Because Ken from Chicago, we're trying to find out a story. There is a strip club right now operating in Lexington County, and no one seems to care or want to shut it down. Ann told me about it.
Can you not put that out there?
What?
Can we figure out what the story is?
Oh, my bad. Yeah.
You were live.
Oh.
People can see this.
Yeah, but nobody locally can see it.
We don't know that.
Oh.
They can see it locally.
Oh, that's true. That's how live works.
Dummy. Dumb. Anyway. Oh, God.
That's how I know it. I mean,
next.
We report those stories like this. But no, about strip clubs. So the thing is, we know what the end game is as far as streaming services. My question is, what in the balance, like what in the sheets did they look at the numbers and say, we make enough money or more money releasing these on HBO Max? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, you're right about one thing. Nobody was talking about HBO Max until Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion.
Really? Yeah, that started it. Because even with the Wonder Woman news, it wasn't like, oh, now I'm definitely going to get HBO Max. People were just like, that's cool.
It was the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion. Everybody was like, they got the original Aunt Viv. Yeah. And that was like, and then like you saw Uncle Phil, and then Uncle
Phil's in it.
Well, they talk about it because Will Smith, for those of you who hadn't seen it, he talks about that scene where Will said,
You Don't Love Me?
Yeah, and he says Avery whispered in his ear. He said when he did that scene, when he hugged him, he said he whispered in his ear, that's acting.
Dang.
And I was like,
that's wild.
because I remember that when they talked about, and I was like, that's the first time I ever heard anyone outside of like us nerd people talking about HBO Max.
Okay.
So that's why I said I want to know what the whole process was, the balance sheets that said, we're going to go hard in the paint, 2021, everything.
So I guess the question now, though, is, right, this seems very cool short term. Like 2021 sounds great because, say what you want whenever the vaccines are going to get ready. Even if it was ready tomorrow and people could take it, it's still going to be 6 or 7 months before it's fully distributed nationwide.
Not only that, there are going to be people who won't take it.
Yes, I mean, it's going to be a minute
we know people who have gone on record and said, I'm not taking this.
Right. It's going to be a minute before it's everywhere and everybody's comfortable going back to the normal. So
look at flu shots.
Yeah, 2022 maybe will be somewhat back to normal. Maybe 2022. But I say all that to say, so 2021 looks like a short-term victory. But what does that do for 2022 in terms of now our movie theater is going to be like, we don't really care about your movie, or what?
I'm going to be honest with you. We're going to see movie theaters close after this because you're not going to have the same amount of window for a movie in the theaters because you know you can only see it in the theater, so you go.
Right.
But if you know you can wait, and we've done this, we've looked at movies and said, it'll be on whatever in a couple of months. I can wait. Like, perfect example, New Mutants.
I still haven't seen it yet.
No hurry.
And it's available.
Watch this. It'll be on HBO Max probably by the end of the year.
Is it going to be HBO Max or Disney?
Probably HBO Max because it was through the Fox
then
deal, and probably a lot of this stuff has to run its course. Because remember, Dark Phoenix did the same thing. It came out on HBO Max first, then went to...
David Cooper says if the reviews for Dune are good enough, I will take a trip to Miami and watch it on IMAX.
I would too. I want to see Top Gun in the movie theater. I know I'm gonna watch it at home, but I don't care. I want to see that on an IMAX screen.
Yeah.
I want to see Tom Cruise doing Tom Cruise things on Tom Cruise screens.
On Tom Cruise screens. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's why I said this was a direct shot at the streaming services because how do you compete with this?
Yeah. As great as Disney and Netflix are, Netflix doesn't have a slate of 2021 movies that I wanted to see in the theaters that I know of.
The one I will say this: there were movies.
Oh.
What?
I tell you, I don't think they will. How Disney competes is, Marvel Cinematic Universe is coming to Disney Plus. Not just the TV shows. I'm talking about the movies too. You do that? Wow.
But see, this is the question. We know Disney already is. I don't. Nefarious? Is that a good word?
Sure.
Because look what they did with Mulan.
Mm-hmm.
And you were one of the people. I was kind of hesitant. I was like, but you were like, don't do it. You were champion people. Do not buy Mulan.
Yeah, don't do it.
Because you were like, it's gonna make them do it again. And if we teach them a lesson now, they won't do it later. And you were right. Because guess what they did? They dropped Soul day and date on Christmas. You ain't got to pay for it.
Mm-hmm. So isn't MCU already on Disney Plus? Ken from Chicago, it is, but what I'm talking about is in terms of like the new movies. Are they going to come day in day out, like where you can see it day one on Disney Plus as well as go to the theaters? Because that would be something that people would definitely consider.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if you thought the AMC was pissed off at the HBO Warner Media, because I'm gonna read you what he said. Here's what hold on, I want to get his name. Here it is.
Who's this article from?
This is from Tom Riemann, but I'm trying to figure out who's the CEO who said this. I'm trying to get the CEO's name who said this.
Angry McAngerton.
Yeah.
Angry McAngerton.
Here we go. AMC Theaters CEO Adam Aron, however, is absolutely livid. These coronavirus impacted times are uncharted waters for all of us, which is why AMC signed on to do an HBO Max exception to customary practices for one film only. Wonder Woman 1984 being released by Warner Brothers at Christmas when the pandemic appears that it will be at its height. However, Warner now hopes to do this for all of its 2021 theatrical movies. Despite the likelihood that with vaccines right around the corner, the theater business is expected to recover. Clearly, Warner Media intends to sacrifice a considerable portion of the profitability of its movie studio division and that of its production partners and filmmakers to subsidize its HBO Max startup. That was a diss.
Yeah, startup. That's dang, bro.
As for AMC,
they got like millions of subscribers. Startup.
As for AMC,
this is a startup. Like Jesus.
This ain't even a Kickstarter.
That's wild. That's a thing to say.
Yeah. As for AMC, we will do all in our power to ensure that Warner does not do so at our expense. We will aggressively pursue economic terms that preserve our business.
I wish we had some movie theater people and some money people in here to tell us what that really means. Because so what is AMC going to do? Not play the movie? Like they keep threatening to do that, and they talked about that with Fast and Furious.
They did it with Universal. Yeah.
Right, Universal. Cool, but Fast and Furious is going to be $1 billion franchise. Even if you don't go to AMC, then you get more showings at Cinemark.
True, but the problem with that is that Universal has other movies that aren't Fast and Furious, and you're going to need more screens to put that out to get, especially like when we get back to some sense of normalcy. I want to warn you, we're never going back to normal. It is never going back to the way things used to be. If you listen to people who are 10 times smarter than us, Dr. Fauci, Bill Gates, I'm trying to figure out somebody else, but these people, they have said novel coronaviruses are here to stay.
Yeah.
That this is the new normal, that we're going to have to take better precautions. Mm-hmm. We're going to have to invest in certain things, PPE. So this is never going back. So now AMC is saying, look, yeah, you may have a juggernaut.
Yeah.
But you're going to have a smaller movie you're going to want out there on multiple screens. You're going to cut a deal, especially when it comes to, guess what? Oscar time.
Yeah.
You're gonna need us.
Ken from Chicago dropping some knowledge, and this was a story we did in our newscast months ago when it first announced. Mm-hmm. Mike Leroy, there was one way theaters could survive. They could be bought out by studios, Disney, Warner Brothers, Sony, and you have vertical integration. The ban on studios buying theaters has been lifted.
That is true.
We did a story about that months ago.
We talked about that.
The Justice Department lifted that ban, so now theaters like Disney can have a bunch of different theaters that just show Disney movies.
And Amazon is looking to already buy. They've already bought a theater so that they can bypass. Because remember the problem they had with what's the old man movie, Irishman? Mm-hmm. That was that in Roma. They had those problems where it wasn't in theaters long enough. Mm-hmm. So they were like, we'll buy our own theater. We'll premiere our movies.
Yeah.
Same thing Netflix is looking to do. Because Netflix, I'm sorry, that wasn't Amazon. That was Netflix. That had that problem. So Netflix bought a movie theater so that they could do this. And Amazon is doing the same thing.
Restaurant Arcade, this is the same thing that happened to arcades when the game consoles came out.
Yep.
And I tell you, I do miss a good arcade. I miss having, like, I have an arcade machine at my house. It's not the same as having 30 or 40 of them with the lights lit up, and then, especially if you're playing a fighting game, you put your quarter up on the screen ready to take somebody on.
And and the thing is, you meet so many interesting people. Mm-hmm. That's one of the cool things about, like, I don't do fighting tournaments or fighting games, because one, I suck at them. And two, my wife says I'm sensitive. Because...
You mean when somebody whoop your tail and you be like,
son,
I'm going home.
I might hit
Knock the machine.
I might hit you in the head with that goddamn controller. Because let me tell you what I hate. Y'all ever play Smash Brothers and you doing great, and everybody realizes you got more lives, and then they jump on you, and you're like, what the? Shut up, man! Like, son, I take that personally. Especially like when you got somebody down. This is why I don't play Mortal Kombat anymore. You know when you got somebody down and they pull off a fatality with that little bit of life left?
Yeah, sure.
And you're just like, you got that look on your face of...
You thought you were going to win. Like, nah. Not only did you lose, they did a fatality on you. Ultimate embarrassment. Or no, ultimate embarrassment, it might be a friend.
Yeah, I don't...
But yeah.
Yeah, my wife was like, you sensitive. So I was like, yeah, you might be right. Don't tell her I said that.
She'll see it in the chat.
But yeah, I love watching people play the arcade games. And again, it goes back to that sense of community, and that's what the coronavirus has stolen from us, that idea of being together as a group.
I see a lot more streaming service are offering party chats and like party watches and group chats and stuff. And it seems like it's a far cry from, the 100 people in a movie theater, but 8 or 10 of your friends watching the movie around their house when you guys are talking. That can kind of get you that community feeling as well.
Ken from Chicago, Leroy, it's not fair. Ryan Porter, in college, nothing was worse than getting whooped in the dorm. Oh yeah, son. I remember I was in the Navy when the first PlayStation and Saturn came out. And remember Virtual Fighter and Soul Calibur?
Yeah.
Man, you want to talk about people who are mean? Grown-ass men who beat you in a video game. Oh. And then you got to work with them? Especially if they outrank you.
I'm laughing at you, but now I'm laughing at the chat. Ken from Chicago, I thought women like sensitive men. Katie, I still married.
I mean, she talking about it today. You so sensitive. I'm like, no, I'm not. Maybe I am. I don't know. But yeah, I like that whole idea behind that community, that group togetherness.
Sure.
You're missing that. And I don't know long term what Warner Media is doing, but I know right now they're like, we need to win the streaming wars because
their subscription numbers are nowhere near Netflix or Disney.
No, and they and also they're nowhere near as like. Think about this for a second. Netflix itself is part of pop culture. Netflix and chill. Like that is synonymous.
They got ice cream, right? I think like Ben and Jerry's has ice
Probably.
cream. Netflix,
I mean,
ice cream.
but
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about streaming services, the first two that come to mind is Netflix and Disney Plus. Netflix because the inordinate amount of stuff that's on it, and Disney because of the quality of stuff it has on it, and Warner Brothers for its lack of, I don't even know what you would say, it is third to these two. And
Might be fourth. Because you got Amazon.
well, a reason why I say it's third is because
Oh.
Amazon is trash when it comes to as far as like navigating.
Oh,
and
okay,
so
okay, I
like
got you.
that so like Amazon is great, like if you know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
But it's just like a straight streaming service is third.
Yeah.
And honestly, they could end up being fourth or fifth if Peacock ever gets its act together. Because remember,
Psych was really good on Peacock. I haven't used Peacock since.
right now we're in a pandemic. You know what's coming next year and the year after that. Because next year is an off year, so that's an odd number year, and so we're getting what is it 2 in next year?
To what?
The Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
And Peacock is the only place you can go to watch the summer games. If everything goes according to plan.
Yeah.
So that means that means track and field. That means the Women's World Cup. That means everything is only going to Peacock.
Well, I wonder if it's going to go to the streaming service or just be like antenna box.
Oh no, it's
NBC.
antenna box and it's going and antenna box, NBC and Peacock because that was when. Because remember, Peacock launched when the Olympics was supposed to be on.
Right.
That was their big pull. They were like, we were going to launch with the Olympics, the Summer Games in Tokyo.
Yeah.
So that right there, and one of the cool things about streaming services is you don't have to worry about like on television the time this comes
Sure.
on. You can just pick. Oh, I want to watch swimming. I want to watch whatever.
It's funny that you mentioned that because we haven't talked about it here, but it's been out there that Netflix has started a new beta program where like they're putting stuff on a schedule.
And France, because from what I understand, France has not come around to the whole idea of not having stuff on. So, and also the idea they've been studying people get stressed out looking for the perfect thing to watch. So what they're looking at is curating a channel that has things just automatically playing, and then you can click through, and then when you pick something, you can select to just stream that, which is honestly genius.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you think about it.
Yeah, your wife, wow.
Yeah. And y'all wonder where I get it from. Y'all wonder where I get it from. This is the person who chose to marry me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you think this is bad, and I'm gonna tell you right now, my sister's worse.
Next topic.
I'm so, and this is the thing about this topic right here. There's so much more because we have not heard, like, Disney's over there right now, like.
They're looking like, huh?
Yep. It's like, do you want to put Black Widow on there? And I mean.
That's how you get people.
And we still haven't seen a trailer for Winter Soldier and Falcon. We haven't seen a trailer for the Eternals.
Before pandemic hit, Winter Soldier was supposed to be the
first,
first TV,
yep.
but now it's WandaVision
Yep.
in January. So
which will come out as soon as Mandalorian's over. Then what's after that?
Yeah.
And so we haven't seen anything from Shang-Chi. We haven't even seen set photos from Shang-Chi. We haven't seen anything from.
I've seen.
You have?
Well, probably not official.
I haven't seen anything.
I've seen some, but it's probably not like officially released by Disney. People were probably in the area. Oh, take a picture of this. When they announced the Native American girl who's deaf.
Echo, yeah.
There's photos of her, or
Okay.
video of her out, but it's not official.
I've seen a picture of her, but I hadn't seen.
Yeah.
Like I saw that they announced the casting.
Yeah.
So we know. So that's the thing. We know we're supposed to get. We know we're getting a Spider-Man. We know we're getting Doctor Strange. We've gotten all this information, but we don't know
Yeah.
If any of that. And Disney has got to be looking at their slate saying, what about Jungle Book or Jungle, the Rock movie with
Jungle Cruise?
Yeah.
Yeah, that got pushed back a whole year, so I don't know.
I mean, it would be interesting to see if Disney Plus says, we got to wade into these waters, man, because...
They have as many, even if people... I'm trying to figure out how to word this, because I was going to say, I don't know that people care enough about Disney Plus, but they do. Because I would argue their movies hit as much of pop culture as WB movies do.
Oh, yeah.
So if they were to announce the MCU stuff is going to be day one and day, as well as like Jungle Cruise and whatever else they're doing, yeah, that'd be big.
And again, this is not just affecting, and that's one thing that I bring up about CBS All Access. This isn't just affecting nerd culture. This is you brought up stocks. This is going to affect, in a sense, how terrestrial television works. Because if it's going day and date to HBO Max, don't expect to see Dune on TBS.
On TNT or TBS?
Yeah. Don't expect to see, Matrix 4 on NBC anytime soon like it was back in the day.
Boundless Book All. Anytime is a good time for gargoyles. It doesn't just have to be now, but keep going.
Yeah, we're supposed to get that from Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the big news that happened recently in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, you know about this. I don't know.
Oscar Isaac has signed on to play Solid Snake.
Cool. I like Oscar Isaac. I think he's great. I'm hesitant about this movie because there really haven't been any good video game movies.
I think there are two, and I've only seen one of them.
What?
Detective Pikachu.
Detective Pikachu was good.
I like Detective Pikachu.
And what was the other one? Oh, Sonic. Yeah, those. Okay, well, that's interesting because the two most recent ones have been well received by critics and fans.
Yeah.
So that's true. But for the most part, video game movies aren't good. I love the Street Fighter movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme. I know it's a horrible movie, but I love it.
Yeah.
I love the original Mortal Kombat movie. I know it's a horrible movie, but I love it. But yeah, it's
Ken from Chicago asked, "What about Rampage?" And Brian Gamer says Sonic was a very good movie.
What about Rampage? I saw it. What are you asking? Are you asking was it good? It wasn't. I didn't think it was good. Yeah.
I mean, it had The Rock in it.
Don't do that.
I'm just saying, like, it's not like it. Whenever I think of video game movies, I'm still mad about Doom. So, like,
that's not The Rock's fault.
I blame him.
Okay.
I feel like The Rock can do anything. So I feel like
he could have made it.
Yeah, because I saw The Rock beat Stone Cold Steve Austin. I didn't think that could happen. So I believe that The Rock could have willed that to be a better movie, and he had Carl Urban in it with him.
Okay.
So with the help of Butcher, I feel like he could have made that something, and I feel like he let me down, and I'm gonna hold that against him.
Max Payne was a weird movie.
Max Payne was a terrible movie. There was one good scene in it, and I still will never forgive Mark Wahlberg for thinking and open his little whatever mouth to think he was on the level of Batman by Christopher Nolan. You remember that? When
No.
What? Go look it up. When Max Payne was coming out, he made a bet. He was like, it's going to be better than Batman. And I was like...
Well, I mean, he's selling the movie. But you want him to be like, y'all, this is trash.
Not
Try to go say that. You gotta sell the movie.
Sir.
What you want him to do?
I'm going to tell y'all right now.
Let me go ahead and set your expectations. The movie is like not great.
I'm going to say it like this.
Anyway.
I'm going to say it like this. I would have said it's a different type of movie. You know what you could get with Batman. You don't know what you could get with us. Come see our movie. We're different. We're going in a different direction. This is something you've never seen before. We're not going head to head with Batman. You know why? Because Batman is an archetype. We're building something new here. Come to Death Row Records.
Do you have a contract? Did you have to mention Death Row Records?
I'm just saying, Suge Knight, I owe some money.
Okay, fair enough.
But I mean, like, son, really?
Yeah.
You can't even, I'm going to tell you right now, name 3 people who were in Max Payne other than Max Payne. I can tell you one.
Mila Kunis?
And Olga Kurylenko.
Oh, she's in it?
She's Mila Kunis' sister who got killed, and that's the one Mila Kunis is going to avenge.
Yeah, I can't name anybody else.
Because that's the plot of the game, remember? And then the girl keeps showing
I never
up.
played the first Max Payne.
What?
Remember we had this conversation because you let me borrow Max Payne 3? I never played the other ones.
Oh, yeah.
I was just like, Max is a horrible bodyguard.
Well, I mean,
That's all I got from that game. I was like, man, everybody you protect is dying.
Yeah, that's because he's on drugs most of the time.
Just, man. Yeah. You horrible.
Ludacris was in that movie? I don't even remember Luda being in that movie.
Wow. Okay.
Man.
I feel like I kind of remember that, but
I remember there being a black guy, but I didn't want to say like
it
all
was
the
Ludacris. Ludacris was the one.
Why is Ludacris in all these video game movies? He's also in Monster Hunter.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
Is he? Are you talking about T.I.? Oh. Are you talking about T.I.? Not the same black man.
You know what the sad part about it is?
What?
I saw T.I. in my head when you said Ludacris, and all I could see was T.I. that I was thinking, because I was like thinking,
I was like, that's not the right
I was like, why was T.I. in Max Payne, and what was he talking about the superficialist homicide that happened over here? Like, I'm like, man.
Oh, man.
Okay,
Yeah.
wait a minute. T.I., Rubber Band Man, Ludacris, move, get out the way.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I got it.
You got it now? Yeah.
I got it straight. Yeah.
Yep. Great.
But let me ask you this, because you are a big player of video games, even more so than I am. Why do you think video game movies have never been good, considering the great games we've had? Oh, like this game is 33 years old.
To me, and here's a philosophical whatever, there's always a disconnect about a game going to a movie, because with that game you kind of internalize yourself as being that player, so it's different. And I can kind of equate this to somebody when they say the book is better than the movie, because you're internalizing what these scenes are in your mind. You've made up what this character looks like. You've made up how these people move in your mind. And then when it translates on screen, like, that's not how I thought it would look. Sometimes they get it right, but a lot of times you're like, in the book they did it like this, or the scene played out like this in my mind differently. And I feel like it's the same way for video games.
Is that what it is, or do you think it's that they... I guess I'm asking because we've had the same problem with anime.
Anime movies?
Yeah, like you can't, like, even when it's...
You mean like live action movies?
Yeah, even when you've had live action anime movies, even if they literally duplicate scenes from said movie or from anime, it's still soulless. Like if you look at Ghost in the Shell.
I think there's one thing about anime that's different from live action is just the animation itself. They're able to express these characters in such detailed way and give them such vivid life that you really can't do in a live action movie. The Animatrix I thought was pretty interesting because
Love that.
all the vignettes were really nice, but the one I always go back to was the CGI one. And I can't remember.
First one.
Probably.
The one that connects with the first movie to the second movie where,
I just, that was really cool because it kind of blended the anime sensibilities of, your traditional anime with live action stuff by being CGI, because the characters were very flexible and live, and they moved in ways that normal people wouldn't do. Like, oh, this is kind of a hyper-realized world, or not hyper-realized, hyper-fantasy world that's slightly ethereal almost, and yeah.
I think another thing too, two people said this. One, Zaylan Maru, with 2 words, honestly, cash grabs. And it seems to be because
I'm in for that Cowboy Bebop too.
To Zayla Maru's point, and I'll get to Ken from Chicago's point in a second too. I think there's a sense of they don't take the source material proper. They don't take it seriously or treat it properly, because we used to have this problem with comic book movies before Blade. Really, you never. I'll say maybe Tim Burton's Batman or Richard Donner's Superman. How many superhero properties did we get that were just bad? Like if you go back and look at those old who's the guy who used to make all the bad superhero stuff? Richard Cromer.
Yeah, because he made like some Fantastic Four.
If you look at some of those and then you go back and look at what happened to Supergirl, it seems like they never took the source material seriously, and they were just cash grabs.
Brian Gamer says video games don't normally work as movies because they try to put 16 hours of a game into an hour and 40 minutes. That's true.
And you know what?
There's an ebb and a flow in a game that you necessarily won't get.
And that's something
hour,
that
40 minutes.
Ken from Chicago says, first make a good story set in the video game universe. Movie makers keep forgetting that. First make a good story, then add the rest. I think that goes back to your point and what, who's the person you were pointing out? I'm sorry, when I get...
Brian Gamer?
Brian Gamer. It doesn't have to be an exact remake of the video game. I understand that there's going to be some core gamers who are like, that didn't happen in the game. Make a movie set in that universe using some of those characters and the beats. Kind of like what Marvel has done with the MCU. None of those movies are beat for beat the exact way it's told in the comics.
Yeah.
Like the way, like if you look at what happens in the comics, the Endgame and Infinity War, some of that stuff happens, but the Black Order was never in the original Infinity War. So it's just take certain elements of the game. So when you make the Metal Gear Solid, yeah, throw in Meryl, throw in Solid Snake, throw in Gray Fox, throw in Ocelot, throw in all of these different things, but you make it different to where it's set in the universe, but don't try to make it shot for shot remake.
Somebody had said that Oscar Isaac was not only Solid Snake, he was somebody else too, and I can't remember who.
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be Moon Knight in the TV show, the Disney Plus Marvel MCU show. The one thing I will say, and the reason why I told you, and I was excited for it, is before I say this, I know some people are gonna. I'm not being flippant about it. This is one of the first times we've had a serious actor
Attached to a video game.
Attached to a video game, and not like a box office star. Like I'm not. When I say Scarlett Johansson, you think yes, she's a box office draw, and yes, she's a good actress. But I never think in my head, oh. And immediately I think of some of the big blockbusters she's in, even though she's in a lot of smaller films and got her start in smaller films. When I think of The Rock, I'm not thinking of a serious character actor. When I think of Gerard Butler, I'm not thinking, oh, I saw him in The Phantom Thread. He was great in that. Oscar Isaac, the worst movie he's ever been in is a Star Wars movie. This is like...
Yeah.
When you think about that for a second. His worst movie, Property, was a Star Wars movie. This is the dude inside Llewellyn Davis.
Ken from Chicago says Christian Bale.
Yeah.
And then, also Michael Fassbender in Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. I like that. I was happy for Assassin's Creed because Michael Fassbender is one of those guys who I was like, and then I saw it and I was like, oh. There goes that sensitive thing again. but yeah, I mean, X-Men Apocalypse. Thank you. I'll give you that one. Isaiah Muro. X-Men Apocalypse. That's the worst movie he's been in.
That Ivan Ooze looking dude, yeah.
I mean,
it was rough.
But when you think about Oscar Isaac and the movies he's been in, A Most Violent Year was one of his best movies. Your girl, Jessica Chastain, is in that. Have you not seen that? Go watch that. That might be one of her best roles.
Okay.
I'm seriously like that.
Side note, you were talking about trying to watch Ava, right? I think it's coming to streaming.
It is.
Like on Netflix.
And
next week.
So let me tell you a little bit about that. I thought you were like, Ava? There's no movie called Ava. And I had never seen it. Didn't know anything about it. I thought you meant Emma. Or the other spy movie that was done by Luc Besson. And I was like, does he saying it wrong? I didn't want to correct you. Then I was in Target one day.
Yeah.
And it was on the shelf. And I was like, it's real.
Nice.
I was like, yo.
Very nice.
What? I was like, so yeah, it is coming.
Oh, Anna is what he's talking about. Anna.
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah.
I did see Anna too. That was all right.
That was a Luc Besson movie.
Yeah.
That has one of the stunt choreographers from John Wick who did that scene in the restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Cool.
Because there's a whole vignette. If you watch the disc or the added scenes, she talks about like learning to fight like that and like getting her butt kicked.
I don't know if this person is new, but Marcus Murray, I've never seen a comment from them before. But I like the comment. The video game needs to actually have a good story to begin with before making a movie. Some of those game stories are drawn out and get boring. True.
Basically, thank you, Marcus. Everybody is saying you try to, like, perfect example, Cyberpunk is coming out. That game may have 200 hours of gameplay. Let's think about if you're going to make a Cyberpunk movie.
December 10th is when? That's a Thursday.
Yeah, go ahead and call out, man.
I can't. Because Scott's not here next week, all next week.
Just do it.
And we got stuff about us the next day.
Mute. Just do it, man. Julie Rich, if you're watching this.
Sharanda, can I bring my Xbox One to the station and play
Watch.
in the control room?
Yeah, ain't nobody will stop you. I mean, ain't nobody paying attention to us after 5:30, man. We literally have the run of the station.
Fair enough.
But yeah, Marcus Murray brings up a great point that Ken from Chicago had. You said Rayshawn K had, that everybody's been saying, trying to squeeze a video game experience into a movie that's 2.5 hours at the most. Just give me a story set in that universe with the beats of the characters, and let's go from there.
Balanced Book Out says, thought the new Tomb Raider was good. I enjoyed it too, and I think the sequel is still on track. I think Alicia Vikander is still attached to do a sequel.
For Tomb Raider?
For Tomb Raider. I thought Tomb Raider first one was, or the reboot was okay.
I thought it was okay, but the problem that I have with it is that there's no awareness to that movie, or to the fact that it follows the same, like, it's 2020, right? We can agree it's 2020 when the new movie comes out. I want to see someone who's aware of what her history is, her past is, and are you literally robbing these places with the, like, think about with the new 2020 mindset. You're stealing from these cultures. But what I would like to see is change the narrative, that she's a Tomb Raider, but she's helping to preserve these things from people who are stealing them for nefarious purposes or whatever. And I would like to see a little bit more.
Did you play the third of the new Tomb Raider games?
No, it's on my PlayStation Plus.
That deals with people.
Yes, but that perfect example. But where is that in the movie?
Right.
Like, if you can get that in the game, you can get that in the movie. And that's where I think where Jalen Maru goes back to that whole cash grab. The people who make these games meticulously sit down. Like, I know you talk about your favorite Assassin's Creed. Mine is the one in Egypt in Revelations about the Byzantine Empire. You can't tell me that the people who made the Assassin's Creed games are not like steeped. Yeah. Where is that in the games?
Yeah.
And that's the problem that I have with a lot of these movies. That you don't get that level of expertise in these movies that you need.
Sure.
Not just like the special effects. Like, let's be honest, we still watch movies of the special effects may not hold up, but the story is great. How many people still go back and watch Aliens, Terminator? We talked about Predator last week.
Mortal Kombat.
You talked about Mortal Kombat.
Not good.
But the thing is,
that reptile. Power.
But look at some of these old the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I think those effects still hold up.
But the thing is, they took so much care with it. I don't see that in some of these.
Haven't played Valhalla yet. I don't have any PS5 games except for Bugsnax. Everything on my PS5 is a PS4 game. And I'm honestly, I may wait to get Miles Morales when it's on sale.
Really?
Just because I don't know when I'm going to get to it. And I want to play it, but it's like, I don't have to play it right now.
I want to play it, but it's not up for Game of the Year, so I'm not dying to play it. Because I am going to play Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us just to see how they stack up.
I played Hades. The game is really good.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like, man, this game is fun. It's just, it's like an arcade grind loot, like a roguelike game where you go in, try to get out of Hades, you die, and you start over again. A lot of fun. I've been playing that a lot.
Yeah,
What is the best video game movie?
I'm going to be honest with you, Detective Pikachu for me.
Detective Pikachu was a sleeper hit.
And not only that, Pikachu was cute. This
was before you had the baby?
Yeah.
Okay.
But remember, because everybody was like, what is the monstrosity going to look like? How do you make Pikachu who's like... how do you make this furry and cute? And because a lot of people are scared about Lilo and Stitch. And...
I want to see... I still haven't seen the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. I heard that was decent. I guess I just need to...
Brian Gamer says your movie.
Spend $10.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat.
The first Mortal Kombat movie. It's something.
I'm going to be honest with you. I hate the Resident Evil movies, but if they're on, I watch them. Yeah. And once I get past the fact that they're not like the games,
right,
I get over it.
Yeah.
I really do like the Witcher show. I think it can be better. I'm really interested to see what Cowboy Bebop is going to be. I think
And they're doing a TV show and a movie, right?
they're doing it. I think just a TV show. I know Netflix is doing a TV show.
I thought they were doing a movie too.
No, I thought it was just a TV show, a 10-episode show.
I'm confused. I don't know.
I do like once I get past, because I think the last couple of Mortal Kombat movies, honestly, are pretty good. Like they're terribly good.
Zayla Maru, are you for real with this Spirits Within movie? That movie's not good.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
It looked great.
Hold on.
That was the whole reason why SquareSoft became Square Enix, because they spent so much money, and they had to combine with Enix to become a new company.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Oh God, what you about to say? This might be the end of the show tonight. What you about to say?
I really liked Spirits Within. I really do.
We out.
I really like
That was a good way to go.
dude, Ming Na,
9:30? Yeah.
hold on. Ming Na, Alec Baldwin, Steve Buscemi, James Woods, is Ving Rhames in it? Isn't Ving Rhames in it?
I don't remember.
Yeah, Ving
know
Rhames
what?
is in it.
I saw that movie once when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
So however old I would have been then, maybe I wasn't smart enough to get it then. Maybe I need to see it again.
I got it.
I was like, this
I got it. I'm not gonna let you borrow it, but I got it.
Okay, but this is not. What is this?
I'm gonna be honest, it's not more. This is the thing. You have to take your mindset that it's not a Final Fantasy game, but it's. How do I say this? It's called Final Fantasy Spirits Within. Just call it Spirits Within. And
Yeah,
if you
like,
want,
why did you call it
But,
Final
but
Fantasy?
that's what I'm saying. Like if you take it, if you say just that,
Fans in the chat, and you play Final Fantasy games, so
Yeah.
you tell me, were there any Final
Michael
Fantasy
Clark Duncan.
references?
Yes, thank you.
Were there any? Dang, so that's the second black person today that you don't mess up as somebody else. Yeah. Man. God. Y'all take that how you will. Anyway.
I thought it was Ving Rhames.
Jesus. You owe Ving Rhames and Ludacris an apology.
Yeah, Ludacris ain't gonna get that.
Man. Yeah, were there Final Fantasy references in the movie? Like, were there chocobos? Was Sid in there? Was there a Sid?
There was.
Because I'm just like, why even call it Final Fantasy?
I don't.
There weren't summons, right? Were there summons? Maybe there were summons. I don't even remember the movie.
But I'm gonna be honest with you. The animation was amazing. Like
Oh,
it still
yeah.
holds up.
Oh, for sure. I'll give you that.
And the voiceover acting was amazing. I will say this: it is not
Oh, another new person commenting. I haven't seen the comment before. Danielle Simmons.
What's up, Danielle Simmons?
My cousin showed me it when I was a kid, and I thought it was amazing. Okay, fair enough.
Kim from Chicago says Leroy's saying that there's so many African Americans in movies starting to mix them up. So progress.
Yeah,
I give you
fantastic.
that.
That's how we gonna end the night.
There's so many of us.
Yep.
We're
Progress.
starting to get them confused.
Yeah.
There's an SNL skit about that though. About is it Dermot Mulroney or what's the other one? There's like two of them. It's a weird name. The guy who's the sexy dude from New Girl that Jess was dating. Anyway, they were asking three black guys. It's like, which one is it? And they were like, so progress. We're getting so many of
Yeah,
us.
they say Dermot Mulroney.
Yeah.
Hey. Man, I watched. Now that we're just talking about random stuff, I watched. Was it Family Stone? Christmas movie?
Yeah.
Or the Stones, whatever it was, came out years ago. It was alright. It's fun.
You know which one I watched with my fam, and we were like, again, who was the she's in Superstore, the manager.
Dana?
No, the
America Ferrera?
yeah, America Ferrera. Who was what movie was it where she was dating a black guy and Forrest Whitaker was the black guy. Lance Gross.
I feel like I've seen the cover, but I don't know what it's called.
We watched that this weekend.
Okay.
And I was like, this is pretty good.
Okay.
Yes, Dylan McDermott. Yes. The SNL sketch, Dylan McDermott versus Dermot
Read
Mulroney.
the names.
There
we go.
Dylan McDermott versus Dermot Mulroney. It's an SNL skit, and I think it's Jamie Foxx. You know what? I'm not gonna say what black guy it is.
You have been.
I don't want
two for two and
to.
being
I don't want
wrong.
to be 3 for 3.
Yeah.
But it is hilarious because it's like, which one is it? And they're like, I don't know. And they're like naming stuff.
Yeah.
It's a great skit. Anyway, yes, The Practice. Kim from Chicago. Watch the Practice was a great show. That is an underrated show. And the last season, old boy from Blacklist shows up.
He's on practice?
Yeah, he's the last
okay.
season, and that's how it bridges the Boston Legal.
Oh.
Oh, that last season. And then they bring in. That's when William Shatner shows up as Denny Crane. Because it was the practice was serious, and then Boston Legal they went a little bit more.
Yeah.
Oh, the practice was a great show.
Brian Cameron said he said Jamie Foxx must have been Will Smith. Man,
it might have been. Yes, James Spader. Thank you, because he was he was slimmer then. He was magnificent. Like when you think James Spader is good at like the Blacklist and stuff like that, go back and watch those early episodes of Boston Legal and the last season of The Practice when he shows up, because he basically saves the practice.
Okay.
Oh, hands down, one of the best performances. Like he just eats the screen. Like James Spader's one of those guys who you're just like, why isn't he in more stuff? Because he's good.
We could talk about since we're just tangents. You remember when the Ultron trailer first came out?
Yep.
And his voice was different from what landed in the movie? I thought that voice was so much better. It was more sinister, but
I wonder if they changed it because the MCU is supposed to be kid friendly.
maybe.
And that
Like,
voice,
that voice was scary.
that voice is unnerving.
Yeah, that first voice was really good.
Spader is amazing.
Yeah. Wrap this up. We'll be here forever.
I don't know what to say.
Tell these people bye. Tell them what got you through the week. What got me through the week? I finished off the second season of The Great Pretender. Still a great show on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, check it out. And I've been playing Hades a lot.
I've been playing Control. I don't know why I play that at night. That is a creepy game. And the noises in it, oh my gosh. Like, I can see why it was nominated for all the awards. The sound mixing and just how, like, there's nothing going on and it's just creepy as hell. Wonderful. I love it. And Animaniacs, because life is terrible out there. Animaniacs are back and they're good.
Brian Gamer, at this point, we'll probably just do a season wrap of Mandalorian.
Yeah, man.
There's no point in doing this episode by episode, so we'll just do a season wrap on Mandalorian.
Yeah, we'll do like an hour and we might do it live. Like, you want to do it live?
I won't say no. I just know us.
Oh yeah.
And that seems easier said. That's easier said than done.
Yeah.
So I won't say no.
I'm gonna say right now, I've been impressed. Like this, the first two were kind of filler a little bit. It's been 0 to 100 these last couple episodes, and this last one, whoo. Yeah, you go text me when you see that, when you see it. Want to say thank you guys for watching. Stay safe. We talked about it earlier. Just on the serious note, the percent positive is going up. So wash your hands. We say send thoughts and prayers, however you want to do it, to Rayshawn K. His family said hit by coronavirus. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Find the joy in your life that makes you get up every day.
Brian Gamer, we gotta hit up. We gotta play some Kate Bishop DLC. That'll be coming out next week.
Oh, and Haley Stanfield, they've released set pictures of her as Kate Bishop for
cool.
Yeah, she looks like Kate Bishop.
Cool.
So that's cool. And Pizza Dog is in it. Lucky the Pizza Dog. Yeah, it's great. So guys, stay safe, be easy. Hope you had a good holiday. We'll see you next week. I meant to say something. I can't remember what it is now.